Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Julien. There we go. All right, it's a little bit before 9:30. Morning, Oliver. Thank you for confirming you can hear me. So Tuesday, May 5th, what are we looking at today? Stocks rebound, oil slips. Seems like things are pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I don't have this ready. Hang on a second, please. There we go. Yeah, seems like things are going crazy. Market is above all-time high again. MNQ, MES, not quite. MES is lagging a bit, but and oil dropping. So interesting. What else is going on over here? Palantir shares sink despite solid earnings. AMD reporting after the close today. Pinterest reported this morning and seems to be moving in a positive direction. Not that I look at pins. Used to trade this a couple years ago. But yeah, very big move. Basically impossible to trade this unless you're gambling that it's just going to go up. However, the way that I trade it, I should say, is impossible. There are people that know what they're doing when they're trading earnings, and this was a massive move on pins. AMD put in an all-time high last week, has pulled back a bit, and will be, again, as far as I'm concerned, will be difficult to trade today because they do have earnings after the close today. Other than that, job openings, yes, there are announcement or economic data at 10 a.m. We've got ISM PMI and new home sales. So both of them are 3 stars as far as investing.com is concerned. And earnings, like I said, we've got AMD seems to be the biggest name to be announcing after the close today. It is 9:30, so the markets are open. Good luck to anybody who's trading the open. I have not done much prep work this morning. I am just basically looking at what the market will give us. This was a breakout in pre-market on MNQ. So the retest of this might be a possibility in the next half hour. I don't know if anybody's looking at anything else. Hey, Evo, good morning. I haven't seen you in a bit.
Good morning, Sean. Nice to see you again, too.
Nice to see you, too. I'll share something from pre-market here. This was a very interesting pattern on gold. I know all I've been talking about lately is the break and retest, also the break and retest from a golden zone. So this morning, when I got up to the computer, I actually last night I was looking right before going to bed. I set this level here, but I didn't know where to stop it. So this this I put right here. But this morning I just moved the fib to where it had retraced, and right around midnight would have been an entry. Right, there's the entry. I'm not going to explain it again because anybody who's been in here has heard me say it 100 times. This is where the impulse buy started. Here I am explaining again. This is where it reversed. Golden zone. That's the entry. Aim for 3R. But then, again this morning, I was looking at this. Okay, well, it pulled back over here. It wasn't necessarily sellers in control. It was just a pullback. But then right over here, buyers took control again. So I started a new fib from 2:20 in the morning and stopped it where it started reversing. Look at that entry for 3R. I didn't put that in. There we go. Stop at the 68, 61.8, I mean, and aim for 3. Aim for 3, aim for 4, aim for whatever you want, but I aim for 3. And there we go. Then we pulled back again and started buying again. So I put this fib here. And now that it's extended, I don't like these as much because you can tell that the golden zone is a wider area. So it's a wider stop. The move has gone. However, I'm going to set an alert here. Again, it's not an exact science, but I also like the idea of putting the fib over here. Because this, after the pullback, this is where the impulse buying started again. And some people might even put it right over here. So at this, I would put an alert over here again. So I've got an alert for the fib that is a little bit further. And then I've got one over here, and I can actually put it over here as well. And let's just do this on gold. And once the alerts go off, we can start looking, right? It's not, I'm practicing an automatic entry, a limit entry, but I'm not done with the back testing yet. I haven't figured out exactly what my credential, my rules are. So that was on gold. Couple nice patterns here that gave 2 beautiful entries. Depending those that are in this time zone, you could be done for the day. Right, 2 3R wins personally for me. That would be enough. 6R, I'd probably still keep on looking, but and according to my rules, I can take another trade. But if I lose 1R, then I'm done. May as well stop when you're green. We've got an impulse move that started here on the 5-minute time frame. We see that oil is moving down. So I could put fib from here to the low and possibly look at the pullback over here. It has pulled back a bit, but did not give, well, actually on this, right? This would have been the low. Did not pull back to the 50. There's a lot of room to the left here. This thing could keep on going down. There's a possible support right around this area. I don't know if anybody's looking at anything else. MNQ at all-time highs. The only thing I'd be looking at here is a retest. So I'm going to put, I believe I have an alert here. I'll move it up. I'd like to see if we can come back into this area. And the other thing I would look at is a rejection. However, the bulls are in control right now. So I would not be shorting this right now. It would have to be very obvious that the sellers are regaining control. And as far as right now is concerned, the bulls are absolutely in control. This thing is unstoppable. MES could be breaking out of yesterday's high. So this could be an interesting area as well. For the break and retest. Obviously using the 15-minute a lot. Yeah, it consolidated for a bit here. Now it seems to be breaking out. As far as room to the left, there's lots of room to the left. There's my first alert on gold. Let's go look at it. Right. So do you trust this to be the proper fib for the proper move? Well, I'll look at it. Look at it, zoom into the 2-minute. What I'd like to see is obvious buying. I want to see, do we dip in here and really start buying? If it starts making its way lower, then I'll move my fib to this level, because this is most or more likely to be the actual fib that could be, if the move started here, while the 50% retracement would be over here instead. Put it back here. Definitely looking interesting. I'm not going to take it because it's a little bit too early in the market for me. But if this prints a bullish pin bar hammer type candle, this could be an entry, right? And if you entered on a limit entry, long, with the stop at 61.8, 3 would be right around there. There you go. And has not wicked down to the 61.8 yet. But you got to have a lot of faith in the system to get in on the limit entry. Usual tickers for me: INTC, PSLL, AMDL, PTIR, NVDL, and HAPU. All right, well, let's look at those.
Yeah, it looks like INTC is making a pretty strong move at the open here. And it looks like a Tesla is running into resistance from May 1st. It's a session high right now.
And you look at Tesla TSLL. There you go. So this is the this is an ETF. Yeah, that was a nice consolidation here on the 5-minute. Consolidation, breakout. If it comes over here and retests, as far as my trade book is concerned, this could be an entry.
What I like about INTC is that, this is the third touch. So if you look at the chart on INTC, the after hours from April 29th, you had the creation of the high. So that was the creation. And then a couple of days later, May 1st and May 3rd, in the aftermarket session hours, we had a test of that level around about $100 and change. And today is the assessment phase, the third touch of that $100 line, and right now it's busting through.
Yeah.
So, in an hourly chart, the RSI is pretty hot. It's like 80 plus. MACD is wide open. It actually has room, I think, to go up further. So I'm going to be watching INTC like a hawk today.
Yeah, INTC for a swing trade.
It would have made you a millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And it's funny because INTC has been going nowhere for years. I mean, who's heard of Intel doing anything? And it's just at some level, not quite sure where, there's a higher time frame high over here from January. Let's go to the daily chart. Actually, let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, there's a lot of chop over here, right around this previous high from 2023. Broke out above it, and then it chopped around. Once it broke up above here, the 55 area would have been a very decent area to get in long if anybody was swing trading this. Right above here, then it consolidated and chopped around. Oh, we probably talked about it at this point because I've got my I don't know if it's a long or a short here. At 64, I think it was with you, Evo, that we were talking about it at this point.
Yeah.
And it's doubled, right? From the 55 area to 106 right now. So yeah, awesome. Hindsight's 2020. That's, time machine would be awesome.
I know. Same thing with AMD. I mean, that's just been a rip of rippers, both of them. But yeah, I remember sort of trading INTC back in the day. It was in the $20 range, whatever, and maybe $30 range, and it didn't move like it moves now, of course. Yeah. But AMD, You know, if you look on the hourly chart, we've got the establishment of the high on April 26th in the after hours. And then we've got a retest from May 1st into the after hours. And so I don't know. I'm going to be watching that as well as for potential reversal. Maybe it'll retest its all-time high here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You know that they have earnings after hours, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. So that's that can definitely play into it today. The FOMO, a lot of people might be thinking, okay, this thing's going to 500 and just want to really push it higher. Or, you know, if earnings miss, or who knows, if it's all priced in already, this could be backing out. So people might be saying, okay, I'm going to take profit from my trade down in the 200s, you know, and take profit over here. So definitely on earnings day, could be a little bit more difficult, right? There are more factors to take in consideration.
Check out the 1 minute chart on AMD. I think it's going to bust right through. Look at the volume profile on the 1 minute. We had that pullback and on declining volume. So I think it's going to bust right through.
Yeah, it could. The pre-market highs right here. So it rejected pre-market high. Again, not quite sure if these are working perfectly yet. On equities, I think they work really well. Our vol is still not. I haven't had time to
Yeah.
So this is not 100% accurate. Yeah, interesting. Definitely, you know, something with the low of day as you know, depending on where you want to put your stop. But it's oh yeah, it's still what, a good $8 or no, $6 away. 46 to 52, yeah, $6 away. So that's quite the stop. Yeah, aim. Who knew?
Yeah, but I'm going to be watching that. That's kind of my usual suspects for today, and I think Nvidia looks a little choppy. So
for AMD, because it rejected R4 here, and it could be putting in a double top. I'm going to put an alert here, and I would actually be looking at the reversal possibility.
Yeah.
You know, again, it would have to wick up here and show some obvious selling. There might not be, right? Who wants to sell this stock if it's been so strong? But shorter time frame, or on a shorter time frame, people might be selling this and just aiming from R4 to R3 or R4 to the central pivot or the previous day close. My watch is going crazy here. What is it? Google all-time high, Alphabet, I mean.
Yeah. Where the SPY is looking to break out of its session high from yesterday, and then the Qs they already lifted, so
yeah,
they're above that.
Yeah, but the Qs are at all-time highs again. ES is lagging, right? ES seems to be hitting a little bit of resistance from pre-market yesterday. So interesting, interesting price action here. Look at Google. Where did I put it? Over here. That's, you know, yesterday high here, broke out, came down and retested right above here. Look at this candle right here. That's a very bullish candle. That could have been a long right there. Right. And aiming for R6, but aiming for 3R right there. And that's
Apple also looks strong
break and retest, but something like that, you have to be looking at it. You know, by the time you get the alert, it's too late. Right. And Apple, I don't know what this is. Was I on replay? What's going on here? Connection issue. All right then. Again, a connection issue. That's weird. Is it just that? Close without saving. Yeah, it's just that window. That's odd. So Apple, Go to a 5-minute. Broke out a pre-market high. Made it quite a ways close to yesterday high. Seems to be resistance. Anything below R3 here could be a short signal, right? Because this is putting in a resistance candle here. So if it were to break out below 278.50, this could be, there you go, set an alert. Actually, it's right there. It's going to go off right now, but this could be retesting. Right. I don't know if I'd want to take it short because it's got some very obvious support right over here, PDC and pre-market high. Right. But scalpers might be taking this. Step out for a bit. Hopefully I'll be able to connect again. Not see you tomorrow. All right. Thank you. See you. Yeah, I'm here every day, just sharing my screen and what it is that I see, and hopefully other people can share what they're seeing. Always appreciate questions and people like Evo and others that share what it is they're looking at. And I know it's hard too. You guys are trading, right? You're looking at your own things. Sometimes it can be distracting having somebody talking about what it is they're seeing. I get that. Yeah. You know, Apple is just, it could go either way here. Very interesting here. The low of this candle is 278.55.
We're getting a little bit extended on the MNQ.
A little bit, yeah. I'm feeling it too. I just don't like shorting all-time highs.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this thing could pull back to YH, yesterday's high, which is not working properly. But this thing could pull back to where consolidated over here, pre-market high, and just take off for the next level. But there's probably enough room, depending on where the stop is. And I would expect a pullback. So depending on your style, there's probably enough room here from there to the 28,000 level. You know,
and sellers started to show their hand a little bit.
Who has?
The sellers.
Oh, yeah. I like the idea of it pulling back here, especially that NES isn't there yet, right? And on the, excuse me, on the 5-minute, MES is definitely showing an area of possible resistance. Yes, yeah, and then poof, off it goes on a new low.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big spike there.
Don't short the highs, right?
Yeah. That's the thing.
The bulls are bulling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm not touching the mouse now.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to see who's in control, right? You want to short this with all these. Look at all the fair value gaps. That's on the 5-minute. I mean, it's obvious that the bulls are in control. They can lose control at any time, right? But for me to get into a position, I need to know who's in control, and I need to go in that direction. So for the time being, I wouldn't mind seeing a slow pullback to pre-market high, and then the further move up. Let's see what the fibs say from this level here. Right? Look at where the 50 ends up. Exactly at pre-market high, where it chopped around a bit. Right? That's starting it before the most recent move. I mean, some people might start it there. Other people might start it right at the open here, which I would also, that's where I'd put the first one. So let's see if they're going to give us a pullback to the 50. And if that one doesn't work, it's a little bit lower. Let's go here. And it's pre-market high. And so this one you might have to wait for a bit. I like this one less, just as I've mentioned before. It's like a 20 point, 25 point stop loss. And so it's a bit wide. This is something I was looking at yesterday. I can take that off. Take this off. There we go. Try to take off what's not necessary here. And don't forget, there is news at 10 a.m.
What's that news drop?
It's PMI and what is it? New housing, I believe. Hang on. PMI, manufacturing index, and new home sales.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And this was actually mentioned. Job openings, home sales on the thing I like to read every morning, the 5 things to know before the market opens. They did mention that these job openings and home sales data is coming out this morning, and they could have an impact on the markets. I found this interesting this morning, that exports in Canada, went up last month and imports went down. The trade imbalance, was forecasted to be -2, and it's actually a +1.7. So I found this interesting for the Canadian economy anyway. Definitely, we are selling more than we're buying. And with everything that's going on between Canada and the US, as far as tariffs are concerned, and it's interesting. It seems like maybe the Canadian economy is finding new buyers for their products. So just thinking out loud, that's something I found interesting. I do not trade the Canadian markets. I invest in the Canadian markets, but I do not trade it.
I'm looking at INTC. We're very close to closing this current 5-minute candle. I like the volume profile.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I want to get another pullback. Right now we touched the 38.2% fib
From the open?
Yeah, right at the open. I'm just hoping we get a little bit more of a pullback towards VWAP here. But we had declining volume in the last 5-minute candle. It's just, for me, it's just still a little too high for me to jump in long. If we come back a little further, I'd like to get in, but usually I like to have 2 pullback candles on this kind of a setup, but it's still a little bit further north in VWAP. I wanted to come back towards that.
Do you know where the ATR is on INTC, Evo?
535, and right now we're at +940.
Yeah. Would that play into your calculation of going long?
I'm glad you raised it. It's kind of normally I would say absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would not.
Again, I'm not trying to influence your trading. I don't want this to be, but it's definitely, especially for new people out there, it's something to pay attention to. Because if for new people out there, if INTC usually trades $5 a day, right? If you look historically, it trades, this was $5, this was $6, this was $4. Well, if it's up $9, then it's already done almost double its ATR. Can it go up to 10, 12, 15? Historically not, at least not as far as the ATR is concerned. But this thing can go to 150. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I would consider it, but like I said, I'm looking at it for maybe a long entry. We'll see, but right now, no.
But again, if a long entry, if you get the proper, let's just look at this. if we get a long entry, if it were to dip down here and then we find a lot of buyers and it gives you an entry over here, well, you don't need to be looking for 120. Let's say you get in around here. Sorry to interrupt you if this is the candle.
No, go for it.
Okay. Right. If you're looking there and it gives you an entry, let's say your stop is here. Well, you can get to 4R before it even gets to high day.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't need it to go up much higher. It's already been there. So is it likely that it could go back there? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So if I can hit that target 4R, if I can keep my risk tight, I could load the boat with shares.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It doesn't have to go to the moon. It can just get to high of day or slightly breach it. And if I'm at like 4 or 5 plus R, I'm good.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying about the ATR, and not to discourage somebody who's wanting to go long, but that's assuming you're aiming for, let's say, 110, right? Which is $2.50 away from the high of day. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily be aiming for 110 because it's made such a move already, right? That would be a 10% move in one day. But just aiming for a smaller move is absolutely possible, right? Hamza, you're saying Canadian maple syrup is 7 pounds for 330 grams. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad. 330. That's I'm trying to think of a can of pop. Or this is 350. No, yeah, it's a pretty small container. 330 is a pretty small container for 7 pounds.
Oh, yums. I don't eat it often, but
yeah,
I get it from Trader Joe's. I think it comes from Vermont, but no offense to my Canuck friends. I would get it from Canada too.
They don't have real maple trees in Vermont.
Huh?
I said they don't have real maple trees in Vermont. No, you know what? Vermont and Maine supposedly are very, very high or big producers of U.S. maple syrup. But yeah, apparently the maple syrup from Quebec is a big export.
It's probably better because the environment. Because my family members were born in Montreal, and it gets so cold there. So maybe that temperature just affects the syrup in a really great way, right? Versus a little bit south of there, where it may not get as cold.
Yeah. I assume it was a good year for maple syrup because you want it to be a slow warm up, and it has absolutely been a slow warm up this spring. Whenever we come out of, and I'm no maple syrup expert, but I do know a few things about it. Just being Canadian, I think it's part of the curriculum when you're growing up. But you want it to be, you don't want it to be a big warm up into the 20 degrees after a freeze, because then the maple water that comes out is not the best quality. You want it to be, and somebody out there correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I think I remember is that you want it to be a very slow warm up to the spring, and it has been a very slow. Even now we're still under average temperatures for May 5th.
So the news drop occurred, right?
Oh yeah. And Hamza was saying that could have more of an impact on MNQ than MES. From what I'm seeing on the candles here, not much has happened. These wicks at the top here can be very interesting for rejection. MCL, I set an alert at the low here. I wanted to see what happened at the low.
I'm trying to short here.
On what?
On MNQ. Very tight.
Yeah. Good luck. And then oil is at the level where it took off yesterday. Well, actually, it took off. This was on that news or fake news, came back, tested this higher time frame level here. Now it's there. I would not personally want to take it long over here unless it came down and take out some of the liquidity over here. And if I were going short over here, then I'd be looking at this higher time frame level over here for possible support. Other than that, I don't see much happening in oil right now. That trade worked, by the way, that I was looking at for gold. There it is. Right, putting the fib at the latest move, right? The latest impulse buy was right over here. So I started the fib there, went to the top, came and touched the 50, limit order at the 50, stop at the 61.8, came very close. I don't know if you can see this, right? Came very close, but did not touch the 50. And when I do enter these, I put it just a tiny bit. Sorry, I mean a 61.8. I'll put my stop a tick away from the 61.8. So probably right over here. And then it made it to 3R. And this is why I don't aim for 4 or 5. Because once it got to 3, it pulled back and then made it back up. And this is a 2-minute, but this is a very bearish candle here. All right. So anyway, that's another one that worked.
Looks like the SPY and the Qs are trying to form a green hammer on the 5-minute. It dropped initially. We're about 1 minute left of the 5-minute. Volume is increasing.
Yeah.
So
we could just be making higher highs here. Yeah, this is that pullback here. I would have preferred it to come back a little bit lower, but yeah, if it makes a new high above high a day here, I would reconsider my long because the move is already happening, right? I was hoping it would pull back to this area here, but it just seems very strong.
Tesla looks like it's going to bust out. Increasing volume on the 5. Big candle. Riding the wave here. Back in the old days, I'd just be like, oh, I'll just buy the high a day.
Yeah.
Nope.
If it punches out, I mean, that's often not a bad trade. However, I don't like buying breakouts anymore. I haven't.
Same here, man. I'm so over it.
Yeah, I just I don't have the trade book for it. And what I prefer to do is set these alerts. Look at the possibility. See, I've got an alert here, right? If it does pull back down here, I wouldn't be surprised at sweeping up the highs and possibly coming back. But there's a lot of volume. There's a lot of buying in this market.
Yeah.
MES. Other than that, there's not much I'm looking at because for me, I need momentum, right? And right now I don't see it. I don't see it in MNQ. I did see it at the open here. That was the momentum that I need. So here I could put and I need to remove this that I just added. I just don't like having that 38 on there personally. So that's where my alert is. Right, I'd like to see it come down and test the 50 over here. For then the next move up. Right, so this one I've got on MES. I need during just recently, I need to see momentum, and I don't see it there. M2K, wow, that is quite the wick. Was that on the news? Yeah. So the Russell, which is highly affected by interest rates, right? There's smaller caps. Gold, so that trade would have worked as far as I'm concerned. Now I wouldn't be setting any more fibs for now. I need a large impulse move. Don't see anything on oil. MYM, which I rarely even look at. Just chop. Don't see anything there. Google. There you go. What were we saying? Don't short the top.
Pardon me.
You know, this. This short below this rejection candle over here. Stop above, aim for 3. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken it for it to have to go through yesterday's high and pre-market high. I wouldn't take it just because it's at all-time highs either. Nice pullback though. There's a breakout from yesterday high. All right, nice retest. Look for, I'm on the 1 minute right now, actually. There you go. That is a nice setup here. But again, this is something you'd have to look at the ATR, average true range. Anything, Evo?
No, just kind of watching. I added roadblocks to my list. You know, we had a nice sell-off here, so looking to see if I get my setup on roadblocks. That's RBLX.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just kind of going through my secondary list, my prime list. I'm not seeing anything tradable. Tesla is getting rejected there. INTC looks like it may challenge its high, but I didn't get in that pullback. It didn't have my setup. Because if you look at INTC during the consolidation, we had a shooting green star, and I'm not going to enter there because it's so high up. So no bueno.
No buenos.
No.
Roblox, just for interest sake, on the higher time frame, right? On the 30-minute, the impulse sell started a few days ago, Thursday, when they had their earnings. What were the earnings? $9 million surprise. So down. Yeah. Anyway, I don't trade this anymore, but it went down, found support, and went back up. And look at what happened at the 50. We chopped around there all day yesterday. So this is on a higher time frame, but again, if you're looking at a limit entry short, stop at the 61.8 and aim for 3 hours.
Invest $1,000 right now. Well, forget about AI, quantum computing, electric vehicles, crypto.
There you go. Branimir, I think you've got a hot mic there.
Variable traders, and I would like to do a recap for you on
Nothing
my
here.
Only traded the SPY today.
Branimir, I don't know if you can hear me,
and I didn't have a
but
lot
I
of
can hear somebody talking in the background.
advocated me and said,
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Thanks, man. So yeah, I was just saying on a higher time frame, that Roblox, right? This just out of curiosity, it'd be fun to see, will it make it back down to the 3R? Now 3R, I know some people will say, well, it's just a random number. Yes, the way that I'm doing it right now is just a random number. If I were actually trading this, I'd be looking at where do I think there's going to be support? Well, it'd probably be around here. right? If we come down, first of all, it'd be at yesterday's low. And then the next level will be S6 if you're looking at that, but then right over here, right? So would I put on this trade? Well, first of all, no, because it's not part of my trade book, but it's a possibility. I think it's obvious that we're fooling around the 50. By fooling around, I mean, we're chopping, right? We tried to make it up, and then look at the sellers, not allowing this to get back up there. The 50% area is almost always an area of chop, right? Even on this move right here. Here, let me remove this. Right, this move right here went up right there. Where did it come back down to? The 50. The 50. And the 50. Right, so they're not just random levels on the chart. Anyway, thanks for sharing, Evo, that you're looking at Roblox. Hopefully my somewhat random analysis there didn't change your idea.
No, just looking. Roblox, Planet Lab, PL, HIMS. These are kind of my setups where they sell off, and then I want to be able to see it bounce.
Yeah.
Get a pull formation underneath VWAP, have a pullback on the pull. And then
sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, that's cool. Just I'd like to see him sell off because I prefer to buy under VWAP if possible, because I can look left and that's the room I have to potentially go. So yeah, just kind of looking. Nothing yet.
That on Roblox right now. If you do look left, we have not been there in a while, and when we were there, we were really buying, right? Consolidated, found a bottom, and then took off from there. What I do like is that we are at S4, which is a buying area. If you look, this is a 30-minute time frame. Here, let's draw a line. Right, if you look, we are actually, that's not what I wanted to do. It's not a trend line. Can I not just draw? Where's my drawing tool? Not a smiley face. Over here. Anyway, we are making higher lows. Right, so if we look here, we're making higher lows. It's at S4. It's coming into a 30-minute fair value gap. What does volume look like on Roblox? There's not a lot of volume. MGC. Let's look at the alert that went. Right, I don't care about this because I already made my 3R over here. So what level is this? What if I extend over here? Imagine that. That's where I put an alert. Let's see what happens at this level. Right? That's what I want to see. I want to see MNQ alert. Wow, there's a pullback. So there's that first 50 zone. Again, if I were going in with a limit order, I would have entered long right here with a stop just below 61.8, aiming for 3. Excuse me, let's just see what would have happened here.
It seems like there's some kind of news or something. The selling volume is really high on the MNQ and on gold. Trades are well, so I'm happy about it, but this volume is relatively too high.
Yeah, that is a lot of volume on gold.
Yeah.
MNQ, yeah, the last candle here on the 5-minute. There's a big volume pullback here. MES, get rid of that, get rid of this.
Yeah, again, a lot of selling and pressure on SPY and the Qs.
Yeah, might just be the pullback we were looking for.
Maybe.
right? That was where I would expect it to pull back to. Now, at this point, does it put in? I like looking at the 2 or the 1. Does it put in, now that we've gone over here, does it put in a bullish candle? And if so, then you're looking at a breakout, the retest of the level. Right? Anything above 722.50 will be interesting to watch.
And at the same point, also oil started buying crude oil.
Yeah, when you see that, then you're assuming it's something that has to do with the strait, right?
Um,
Come on. Okay, so here I'm putting in a paper trade just to show an example of what it is I'm looking for. Consolidating, broke out. I don't like this breakout on MES just because there's not a lot of volume to it, or sorry, not a lot of momentum to it, but it is a slow push up, and then it comes down and retests a pre-market high right here, yesterday's high and R4. Right, and boom, would have been stopped out had I entered on this candle right here.
it seems like there's some news.
Yeah, anybody have anything to share? Is there any news going on? Wow, what happened there? Look at that wick. Oh, it almost gave me my 3R on that wick here. Right? Had I entered on a limit order over here, set it at 3. Actually, I'm at 3.3. Would I have gotten it? What did it get to? 2.75. That's why I also like having my targets as well as my stop loss. I'll put it on right away, and sometimes it'll just wick right into it and grab it, and you're done in 30 seconds. I'm still in this. This is just a sim trade if that wasn't clear. But it's to pull back to the 50. Entry on a limit order. The way that I am entering right now is I want to see it wick in here and then see some buying. These candles are way too big for me to get in at the break of the high, which is the other reason I like the limit order entry. Nobody said anything about news. Does anybody have anything for breaking news? I used to have a Benzinga subscription. It got to be so expensive for what I was using it for.
Yeah.
I like Benzinga for that. They're very, very good with breaking news. But I don't know if anybody has anything else. Preferably something that everybody could use, like a free tool. Or if it's a paid subscription, please don't hesitate to share.
Trump Social.
Which one?
Trump Social.
That's funny that you say that. I didn't get a notification on my watch, but did Trump say anything?
Yeah, I was looking at roadblocks, but I just didn't like the pullback. I didn't like to see that big wick. And the volume was still around the same, so I decided not to enter. Wasn't my setup.
Yeah.
And
if we make a new high above this 46, see it's a slow pullback here. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what happens right above 46 here, above these candles here.
yeah. But yeah, right now It looks strong, and actually NVTS, that's another semiconductor that broke through its high too. So
This is Tesla's really choppy here. Sorry, NDTS?
N Nancy, Victor, Tom, Stacy. NVTS.
NVT.
And
Navitas. I've never traded it. That's why I don't remember the ticker, but I do know the name.
yeah,
Yeah.
its next resistance levels around 1683. The SMA 200 on the 15-minute chart. We'll see what happens there, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that too.
Look at that MNQ trade. MNQ, come and take profit at 28,093.50. Anybody sold on this limit order entry yet? MES on the breakout and the retest. Breakout, retest. Okay. MGC. MGC came out, and had I gone long on a limit order here, once it touched, let's put it in there just to show they don't all work. Stop below the 61.8 and aim for 3. There we go. That one would have been stopped out. Oil, what's going on? The oil, the volume came in. That's a lot of volume, and then it's not making any new highs. So this definitely looks like if I were to put this at the most recent selling, which would have been here, or just before pre-market when there was a lot of volume here, right? Put it here, very close, and I'm going to set an alert. Actually, no, here, I'll put a paper trade on. I am going to put a limit order. Let's just limit order. Why are these not popping up automatically? Instead of units, I'll just say $100 risk. I want it to be a sell. There you go. I would like my stop. It's happening too fast. Happening already. Stop there. Limit order would have been there. There you go. So I've set up and now that it's happening, I wouldn't necessarily be putting on this limit order, but I'll leave it on there for now. Pulling back into the 50 over here with the stop. No, I can't move it. Just beyond there, confirm my stop was $100, so it automatically calculated 3 contracts. But seeing that it pulled up here and now it seems to be selling, it almost feels like this move is continuing without me. And then 3R, I don't know why it went to 465, maybe because I moved it, but 3R should be at 300. Even leave it there. Gold would have been taken out, but then it made it to the target. I'm not keeping score of how many of these work as opposed to not work, but I know they work more often than they don't. Or even if they only work 40% of the time. If your risk is 3 and your risk is 1, sorry, and your reward is 3, you can make money. Financial juice. Thank you, Angel. Financial juice. I've never heard of financial juice. Let's put this here.
Is that like a news aggravator for finance?
Juice. Financialjuice.com. Sign in, sign up. I'm inside. I won't do it right this second, but sign up. It's free forever. Oh. They make their money on ads, I guess. Live. Trump signs proclamation restoring presidential fitness test award. That's not what moved the market. Crypto fear. Green. Oh, I guess I can share it here. It's not sharing any other information. So US ISM PMI actual forecast was 53. That's pretty much came in line. Thanks for sharing. I don't know this one. I will look at it once I step away from the computer. It is 10:30. So I am going to step away. Hopefully you guys are getting into some good trades, and hopefully this was beneficial for some of you, and I'll be back tomorrow. All right, good luck, everyone.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, cheers. Oh, and Avi, I just saw Avi says I'll be online right after Gilles at 10:30 Eastern. So there you go. Avi's on his way in. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tarek. Cheers. Appreciate you guys too. All right. Have a good one.